We have a new mock draft to review and a new pick at number 10 for the Bears that I want to talk about. So what is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Style back at it with another video talking. As a matter of fact, here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, guys, please do hit that subscribe button down below. Would really appreciate it. Hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video. All right, so Brad Biggs, reporter for the Chicago Tribune, dropped his latest mock draft. And now you guys know I don't review a lot of mock drafts. Because there are a ton out there, by the way. But Brad Biggs is one of them because he is, to me, the most plugged-in reporter for the Bears covering this team. So to me, like when Biggs puts stuff out, I listen, I read it, and I got to talk about it. So he put out his latest mock draft, and at number 10, he has the Chicago Bears taken. Surprise, surprise. And it's actually a surprise. Kelvin Banks Jr., offensive lineman here. So let's talk about what he said, and I quote, "In the Bears' bid to rebuild the offensive line, there wasn't a left tackle to pursue in free agency once Ronnie Stanley re-signed in Baltimore. They want competition for the position, and with Braxton Jones coming off ankle surgery and Kieran Amagaji's skill unknown, a left tackle for the future would make sense if they really want to build from the inside out. Maybe number 10 is a little high for Banks, and it's worth wondering if the Bears could trade down and still grab him." All right, so let's talk about this. All right, Kelvin Banks is a guy that we have not discussed much on the channel. We've talked a lot about Will Campbell. We've talked a lot about even Armand Membo, but we haven't talked about Kelvin Banks. Now, Banks is ranked as the third best tackle in this draft. Now, take of it what you may as far as what position these guys will play once they get to the league, but in college they played the tackle spot, right? We talked about Will Campbell, his short arms, and him potentially kicking inside the guard. And, of course, Membo going over to the other side because he hasn't played left tackle in college, so he was a right tackle. So it's like that is what they are rated as in college and what they played as. We'll see what happens in the NFL. But, yeah, as far as Kelvin Banks Jr., I haven't really talked about him, and the reason is very clear. Number 10 is too high to take him. All right, I don't have a problem with Kelvin Banks, the prospect. I think he is going to be a solid offensive lineman in this league. I think, you know, from all of the scouting reports I've read about him and the tape that I've watched, he is going to be a solid offensive lineman. All right, don't see star power here. Don't see elite, but I do see very solid. And Bleacher Report actually did a rating in which they basically went ahead and graded all of these prospects. And Kelvin Banks, got rated as a 7.8 out of 10, which is a potential impact player. But here's the problem. It was listed him as a second-round pick. All right. For comparison, Armand Membo was at 8.2, and then Will Campbell was at 8.4. All right. So just want to point that out there. So Campbell and Membo are considered better prospects than Kelvin Banks. And so the problem isn't Banks himself, it's the drafting of him at 10. It is entirely too high to take him. If you like Kelvin Banks and you want him to be your guy, I would trade down. That's what I would do if I was the Bears, because I think you can get him at 13, 16, maybe even later than that. I think 10 is just entirely too high for him. And if you're wondering what Biggs has as far as the other offensive linemen, he has Will Campbell going to the Patriots at 4, so he's off the board. He has Armand Membo going to the Jets at 7, so he's off the board. And then just, for info, he has JT going to the Raiders, obviously at number 6, so he's off the board as well. So all of the guys that I like for the Bears in Biggs' latest mock draft, they're gone by number 10. And so basically Biggs is saying, look, either they take him at 10 or they trade down and take him later, because they want to create competition at the left tackle spot, which I thought was interesting because, Braxton is the presumed starter, and Poles did draft Kieran Amagaji to be a guy that could compete. But it seems like already, we're out on Kieran, but you know that, hey, you can't really depend on the kid. You got to create more competition. And to me, the other wrinkle in this is that I don't think Poles wants to pay Braxton Jones big money. I think Braxton Jones is a serviceable, solid tackle, but he's going to get paid like an elite tackle if he hits the free agent market, and Poles doesn't want to do that. So that's why he wants to draft his replacement. And so again, to me, that is my biggest issue here. It is not with Banks, the prospect. It is with the positioning here at number 10. That's just too high. Sorry, just too high for him. You know, again, like I've told you, some mock drafts have him potentially even as the second-round player. I know a lot of people don't like him as much. He had a bad game against Georgia, but, like, folks, like, he is still a strong physical offensive lineman. Funny enough, him and Membo measured both at 33.5 as far as arm length, and then Banks is an inch taller, 6'5", compared to Membo at 6'4". So for all the talk about Membo being the much better prospect, I mean, it might be closer than we think. Either which way, my point being here is I can't justify taking him at 10. I wouldn't be a big fan of this. I'd want to trade down. And the other interesting part is Biggs has Shedeur Sanders going 9 to the Saints. And if Shedeur dropped to 10 to the Bears, I feel like that would be an immediate and easy trade down scenario for teams that want to go ahead and draft Shedeur. So really, really hoping that we are not forced, if you will, in a way to take Kelvin Banks because all of the guys we like are gone. Just go ahead and, you know, go ahead and take a trade down and go ahead and wait for that. So that's where I'm at with this. Let me know what you guys think. Agree or disagree. Is number 10, if the Bears stay pat, too high for Kelvin Banks Jr.? Let me know down below with your thoughts as always. Thanks for watching.